What's going on, guys? Abby Matt here with Mad Real Reviews, giving you my third edition of my voice video, brought to you by my car. I'm actually sitting in it right now as I'm talking to you. Well, week has gone by yet again. Went to 2 shows over the weekend. I lost my voice for a brief moment. And then Monday was the Oscars nominations, which I was actually pretty excited for multiple reasons. But I was definitely a fan favorite of what is to be expected of this year's Oscars, which is going to be on February 9th, Sunday at 5 p.m. Shout out to my friend Jane. She did comment on one of my photos asking me if I had any personal favorites yet. And yes, Jane, I do have a couple of favorites that I would like to share at this current moment. So first thing first, just like every year when the Oscars nominations come out, of course, someone is going to be mad because a certain movie or certain actor wasn't nominated. One of them being, which I actually read on one of the articles on yesterday, was Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. I have yet to see the movie. I've been meaning to watch it, but I ended up watching another movie or plans happen, life. But so far, I've heard great reviews. Again, I can't really comment too much on it because I haven't seen it. But apparently he got robbed of an Oscar nomination. So hopefully sometime soon I'll be able to see it and I can actually put in my, my 2 cents. So there's one that I remember seeing or hearing about, or reading, I should say, reading about. And I also think for, for Best Picture. Again, haven't seen it, but apparently he got robbed off of those, and so did the movie itself. Other than that, I know there was another actor that they said that should have been nominated. As I'm drawing a blank, but I remember reading an article about that too. But I do have a couple of my favorites, personal favorites. Now, some of these, I'm going to go over the list because I have the ballot right here in front of me. I am going to go through some of them, and I will honestly tell you which movies I have not seen. But based on, me reading it or just what I've heard about it, I can kind of determine off of that. But these are, as of right now, my personal favorites. I'm in the process of actually watching the movies. And then from there, usually a couple days before, I actually make my Oscar predictions. And sometimes I am actually really good at it. But this year, after looking at some of the nominations, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a hard pick, because some of them, one of them, let's be real. I'm a big fan of Antonio Banderas. And when I saw his name for leading actor, I was like, oh my God. So I'm going to try real hard to keep an open mind, of the best actors. But as soon as I saw his name, I'm like, oh my God, I want him to win. I'm sorry, I've had a crush on this man since the movie Assassins. I love him. Anyway, Antonio Banderas, if you ever hear this, I love you. And if I ever meet you, I probably might faint, or I may ask you if you want to grab some wine. Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. So going in order, the first one is an actor in a leading role. So you have Antonio Banderas from Pain and Glory, Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver, Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix, Joker, and Jonathan Pryce, The Two Popes. Now, I've seen all of these movies except for Pain and Glory, which was surprisingly right. Antonio Banderas, yes, I have not seen it. But it will be out on Redbox on the 21st of January. So definitely I'm going to grab that. But just looking at these right now, I am honestly torn between Leonardo DiCaprio, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Joaquin Phoenix. I'm pretty sure we all saw both of those movies, but when I saw the Joker, how much of a psychological mind fuck it was, and just seeing him go through his transition as the character. I don't think he was static at all. I think it was just more of him trying to realize who he is and what it is that his environment was, causing, which honestly, after watching the movie, I couldn't even take my son. So usually with rated R movies, I watch it first. If I deem it okay, I bring my son. But with this type of movie and this genre of the movie, I deemed it not suitable, just because of what's going on in the world with our kids, and how they're being manipulated, and and what do you call it, peer pressure, all of that. And I really feel like you see that in that movie, and you also see it through Joaquin Phoenix's acting. And honestly, it's pretty captivating. I thought I was very much I felt everything that he was going through. So definitely his acting for me was great. Like that's one of the personal favorites. Leonardo DiCaprio, I feel the same, just because his whole Western scene and character growth of how he's seeing himself as an actor, and him getting older, which I mean, you don't even have to be an actor. We all realize that when we're getting older, like, we can't do some of the things that we used to do. And you can also feel it in a personal perspective. And that's how I felt it with both of those. So personal favorite, Leonardo DiCaprio or Joaquin Phoenix as of right now. And then as soon as I see Pain and Glory, I can actually kind of rule out which one's my favorite. Actor in a supporting role: Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood; Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes; Al Pacino, The Irishman; and Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I have seen all these movies, but I'm leaning towards, for supporting actor, Al Pacino. Brad Pitt, you were good. Chesney, I really like the way that you supported Leonardo DiCaprio. You guys were homies. But Al Pacino, I don't know why, but The Irishman just kind of, how do we describe it? Irishman kind of gave it more of a feeling, because I guess you were supposed to be part of a clique. Like, I know people, if you treat me right, I'm going to treat you right. And but you could see his character develop to the point where, it was the point of his climax, right before he crashed and burned, if you will. And you could definitely see that, how his character just started to unravel. And I really like that about Al Pacino. But overall, I mean, Al Pacino is such a great actor that just me seeing him in this role, and not only that, with Joe Pesci, oh my God, bringing in them, and then Robert De Niro, it was such a great movie. And having Al Pacino play Jimmy Hoffa just kind of put it more into perspective of the type of person he was. This teamster that had so much strength and so much knowledge that even just by the simple look in his eyes, you just know he means business. And that's one of my personal favorites. Actress in a leading role, we have Cynthia Erivo, Harriet; Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story; Saoirse Ronan, I want to say that's her name; Little Women; Charlize Theron, Bombshell; and Renee Zellweger, Judy. The only movies that I've seen from here is Marriage Story and Bombshell. As of right now, I can't say a personal favorite. Charlize Theron, she's freaking fantastic. I just love her attitude the entire time, throughout the entire movie. You could definitely tell she has that, that feminine strength. And the entire time she was carrying on. Well, I mean, I can't even say she's carrying it on, because you also had Nicole Kidman. Nicole Kidman's character, if you've seen the movie, Nicole Kidman's character, she also did this, basically pulling the weight. She's the one that had to go through everything in order to get the ball rolling. And then, of course, Charlize, her character was more I believe she played Karen. Her character ended up going through the motions after, the ball started rolling. And it's just okay, should I come out with what happened to me, or should I continue on? And I'm glad she was able to, get the perspective of other people, and I thought that was really good. So her being an actress in a leading role, I would say she'd be my favorite up until I see the rest of the movies. Actress in a supporting role, we have Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell; Laura Dern, Marriage Story; Scarlett Johansson and Jojo Rabbit; Florence Pugh in Little Women; and Margot Robbie, Bombshell. So out of these movies, I've seen Bombshell and Marriage Story. Honestly, Laura Dern. If you've seen Marriage Story, you can definitely tell she supported Scarlett Johansson's character. And not only that, she supported pretty much the cast trying to develop this, divorce. And I guess she tried not to play ugly, but in turn, she played ugly to help the cause, or to help that she doesn't, basically speak for what Scarlett Johansson couldn't say. And I honestly feel that Laura Dern is a personal favorite in that category. Animated feature film, How to Train Your Dragon, I Lost My Body, Klaus, Missing Link, and Toy Story 4. Out of all of these, I've only seen Toy Story 4. And as of right now, that's a personal favorite. Cinematography, The Irishman, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. This one is a toughie, as a personal favorite. Honestly, which one captivated me the most? I would say Joker. Joker for that one, just because you have this dark yet very. It's not a light. Starting from the beginning to the end, you could definitely tell that there was a little bit of a light, positive aspect in the movie, or just the cinematography itself. But once you started getting more into his character development, you saw how dark it got. And I like that it was able to pull me in that sense of direction. And I would say Joker as that one as my personal favorite. Costume design, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Again, this one's a toughie too, but costume design, I would probably have to say The Irishman. Again, just because of the time period it was at, I really kind of like the outfits. Directors, The Irishman, Joker in 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. I'm gonna go with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Man, Quentin Tarantino, after you seen that movie, it gave me a little bit of hope. We all know the Sharon Tate story, the Charles Manson murders, but once you actually see it and you kind of get that positivity in it, it made it just so much better. I don't know about you, but I cried. And yeah, just the way he brought out the story, because I remember right before it came out, or right before I guess the story started coming out that he was going to do this and Sharon Tate was going to be in it, and I remember them giving him a hard time because they were thinking that they were going to portray the murders all over again, which honestly I thought that's what they were going to do too, because I kid you not, the entire time throughout the movie up until we got towards the end, I had so much anxiety going oh my god, we're going to see something. I don't know what we're going to see, but we're going to see something right now. And as soon as that part hit, I saw it, but it gave me more of a not a personal, but a a happy feeling. And I really liked the direction he took the movie. Honestly, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I really like it. I own it on DVD. Loved it. Documentary features, I haven't seen any of these. American Factory, The Cave, The Edge of Democracy. I want to say it says Forsama and Honeyland. Just based on the word, or the titles, I'm going to go with Edge of Democracy. It's on Netflix. So if you want to see any of these, American Factory, Netflix, and Edge of Democracy, Netflix, and Honeyland is on Hulu. But as of right now, The Edge of Democracy seems like a personal favorite. Just by the title, I haven't seen it. Documentary short subjects, In the Absence, Learning to Skateboard in a War Zone if you're a girl, Life Overtakes Me, St. Louis Superman, and Walk, Run, Cha-Cha. Just by the title, Life Overtakes Me. Film editing, Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite. Honestly, with all of these, I've only seen The Irishman and Joker. I guess right now, just for film editing, I would say Joker. International feature film, Corpus Christi, Honeyland, I always say this wrong, Les Miserables, Pain and Glory, and Parasite. Of course, my biased opinion is Pain and Glory because of Antonio Banderas. But honestly, I kind of want to check out Parasite because that got nominated there and for Best Picture. So I'm actually very curious to see that movie. But right now, Pain and Glory. Second is Parasite. Makeup and hairstyling: Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and 1917. The only movies I've seen here: Bombshell, Joker, and Maleficent. Makeup and hairstyling, you know what? All of them did pretty well, especially Bombshell, because they have to portray the real people that they portrayed. But honestly, with this one, I would say Joker has it. Original score: we got Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I guess for me, original score, I have to hear it again. But if I had to guess right now, Marriage Story or Joker, those are the ones that I'm playing around with as a personal favorite. Original song: I can't let you throw yourself away, Toy Story 4. I'm Gonna Love Me Again, Rocket Man, I'm Standing With You, Breakthrough, Into the Unknown, Frozen 2, and Stand Up Harriet. The only one I've seen is Toy Story 4, and I really like Toy Story 4, so I'm gonna go with that one. Best Picture, I'm gonna save that one for last. Production design: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Honestly, the production design for me, I really like the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Again, just because the Hollywood scene of it, Los Angeles, it really captivates me. And honestly, I really kind of, after watching the movie, I want to visit more of these spots. Side note, I did do the Helter Skelter tour in 2016. That was a really cool tour. It sounds bad for saying cool because we all know what happened, but it was actually a very cool, neat tour where they were able to take you to all the scenes that led up to that, night. So I don't know if that's still going on, but that was a pretty cool tour. Animated short film. This one is Desera Daughter, Hair Love, Kit Bull, Memorable Sister. Just by the name of it, memorable. Live action short film: Brotherhood, Nefta Football Club, The Neighbor's Window, Saria, a Sister. Just based on the title, I want to say Brotherhood. Sound editing: Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I would say this one has to be Joker. Sound mixing: we have Ad Astra, Ford versus Ferrari, Joker, 1917, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Man. I would say Joker too, to be quite honest. Visual effects: Avengers Endgame, The Irishman, The Lion King, 1917, and Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, out of all of these, I've seen Avengers, Irishman, and Star Wars. But visual effects, I would say Avengers. Adapted screenplay: we have The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, The Two Popes. Man, this one I would have to say, Joker. I will go with Joker. The second one, honestly, The Two Popes. If you haven't seen that movie, it's actually a really nice movie. Like, it just kind of built up on friendship. And I like that they showed real scenes of what happened. So if you have a moment, definitely check that out. And original screenplay: Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Oh man, I don't know if you've seen Knives Out. I really like that, but it kind of had a play on a Clue, for me anyway. Marriage Story, I've been divorced, and I felt, what was happening in that movie. But I don't know. That one just kind of it's a hit or miss. So I kind of feel what was happening with that. And of course, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So if I can pick the original screenplay, I'm going to go just a personal favorite, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Last but not least, Best Picture: Ford vs. Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. This one, as a personal favorite, would be Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So that's what I feel as of right now. Of course, once I start watching all these movies, I'll get more in depth of how I'm actually feeling and what I actually feel about the movie. So if you want to check any of these out, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory will be on Redbox on the 21st. Marriage Story, Two Popes are on Netflix. Harriet is going to be on demand at Redbox on the 14th, which actually is out now, and on the 28th, where you could get it on DVD. Marriage Story Netflix. Judy is on Redbox. Marriage Story Netflix. I Lost My Body, Klaus are on Netflix, and Missing Link and How to Train Your Dragon is on Redbox. The Lighthouse is Redbox. American Factory, The Edge, Netflix, and Honeyland, Hulu. I said that already. Oh, Lion King is on Redbox. Ad Astra is Redbox. And that's it. Well, other than that, do I have anything going on? No, besides, like I said, my birthday's coming up, so there's going to be a lot going on. So this weekend, my cousins are coming into town, so gonna have a good time with that. Other than that, that's about it. So until next time, I decide to talk to myself. This is Abby Mad. Take care.